Well, our first race up then is for the Mini X30s with Macaulay Bishop, our championship leader, looking to dominate once again. Let's go and join Jake Sanson as they line up on the grid.
Time for some X30 action now from the Minis. Macaulay Bishop and Eden Spanswick from Jack Hobson and Taylor Orridge. Aidan Hassan, George Robinson, then Hill, Cucurella Yeomans, Mins and Leslie in the top 10. And then behind them, Jack Mowat, Finley Brown, Ashton Wiggins and Cameron Pratt-Thompson, who will have to start this race from the back of the grid. Don't expect him to stay there long though. Here we go, first corner, and we are away racing. There's a problem already as down the order and almost out of it, Sebastian Mins. He's clearly got some kind of problem off the start as Taylor Orridge slots into third place behind the fast starting Macaulay Bishop with Eden Spanswick in second place.
Bit like Dan Ginchard we saw earlier. Macaulay Bishop, a serial winner in this class this season, is going to be tough, if not impossible, to beat.
Well, Spanswick's certainly giving it everything he's got, and this is the difficult situation that Paul Munn has got. He's got two firecrackers in his squad in 2021, because you've got Bishop and Spanswick very close to each other, but this is the team game. They will have discussed this in the awning. Look, if we get into first and second place, there's no two ways about this. We're going to try and extend the lead over Taylor Orridge and stretch away. There is the 348 making names out there. Finley Brown as up the inside, Cameron Pratt-Thompson, here he comes. I told you he wouldn't stay on the back row for long. He is working his way through the field like wildfire, and he's already made it as far as P7.
Cucurella Yeomans up to fifth as he went through the line. It's Bishop from Spanswick, Orridge, Hobson, Cucurella Yeomans, all the typical names that we expect to be out front, and it's pretty much as you've been most of the season so far, apart from perhaps Cameron Pratt-Thompson, who's having to come from the back of the field. But as you say, Jake, won't be there for long.
Now, this is not in the game plan for Bishop and Spanswick. They did not expect Orridge to be able to stay with them quite as quickly as this. And this is not what they want in their game plan. They want to be able to stretch away, pull out a gap, and disappear out in front. And it's not working at the moment because Taylor Orridge is staying with them. Nice little squabble in the background. That could have changed a few positions. But so far, Taylor Orridge is a real threat to the leaders. Bishop and Spanswick want to extend and pull away. Taylor Orridge is not letting that happen.
Macaulay Bishop with the fastest lap, and the reason Orridge is not letting it happen is because, like so many drivers we've seen this weekend already, he is a serial championship winner at the top level in karting in the UK.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's definitely one to watch for the future as he continues to climb up the karting ranks. Macaulay Bishop, 52.364, still pushing it. And he has still got Spanswick and Orridge on his tail. So what that tells you is, even though Bishop is setting fastest laps, it's not by much. We're talking hundredths of a second, maybe even thousandths of a second, because he's still got these two right on his tail. Orridge is looking to split them up. He goes for the move on the inside line and he gets in a second. Now this is danger zone for Paul Munn Racing. This is not what they wanted. Taylor Orridge breaking up the happy family. So Spanswick gets back on the inside line in the final turn and takes second position back again.
And helps out his teammate in the process, but Orridge down the inside, I think he's got it.
Oh, that is a lovely move through turn one. No intimidation at all after Spanswick's retaliation. Taylor Orridge has an objective. He has a game plan clear in his mind. Split the boys up and give them some hassle. Out in front, Macaulay Bishop has a bit of breathing space now to Taylor Orridge in second place. Spanswick coming back on the inside line. He's through into second place once more. And Jack Hobson sat there in fourth place. He's getting frustrated. Come on, guys, what are you doing? You are swapping positions and you're letting the man who's dominating this championship get a clear gap. Here comes Orridge again on the inside line for the hairpin. They are absolutely resolute. I'm going to be in second. He taps his helmet. Stop it. Stop passing me. We need to catch Bishop. Spanswick's not listening. He goes again. And this time, Orridge holds him back. Hobson is going to try and get through instead. Jack Hobson moves to cover, gets the place. Enough of this, boys. Pack it in.
And that is a Kai Hunter type of move as he taps his helmet and says, let's get after these in front. Jack Hobson with yet another brilliant move. That's the only way to describe that. It's one opportunity, you go for it straight away, as clean as you like. That is Jack Hobson right there. We know, again, he's a top quality performer, and he just showed it right there in that one instance.
Yeah, that's definitely the Eminem move, as I like to call it, because you only get one shot, one opportunity. Absolutely amazing run. Fantastic work there from Jack Hobson to split those two up. He had to do something though, because look, Macaulay Bishop is already a second clear. They were too busy messing about with each other. Hobson doing a great job to counteract and get into third place. Now he can start to push Taylor Orridge forward. It's quite clear, well, Eden Spanswick's obviously not going to play ball. He just just wants to sit in second place and take the dummy prize. Okay, fine. I'll team up with Taylor Orridge. We'll go get after Macaulay Bishop and show him how it's done.
Sebastian Mins has made up a couple at the back of the field. Let's have a look at the replay here. Look how long the inside rear wheel is off the ground. Now, normally that would create oversteer in the kart, but for whatever reason, Jack Hobson seems happy with that. He was certainly, the wheel was off the ground for a lot longer. Now, it's a solid axle. There's no rear differential in karts. It's a solid axle, and you have to lift the rear wheel off the ground in order for the front wheels to turn. But normally when it's off the ground that long, it will oversteer as Spanswick goes up the inside. Takes no prisoners there, Jake.
And that is not a happy Jack Hobson, is it? That is not what he wanted at all. Spanswick, absolutely resolute. I want to be on the podium. If I can't win this, I'm going to get a silverware at any point. So Jack Hobson, absolutely fuming at that move from Eden Spanswick. Nothing wrong with it. The gap's there. He's going to take it. He didn't shove him off the road.
It was clean as a whistle. There's nothing. And Jack Hobson won't be complaining at that. He'll be happy at that. That's the sort of move that he would expect to make himself. So he's not complaining.
He'll just be frustrated because that's going to drop him back.
Yeah, frustrated, but not complaining at it.
Well, Macaulay Bishop has now been given license to run away and hide at the front. Here's Cameron Pratt-Thompson in 5th position. He's now going to be on these guys pushing hard, and you can bet your bottom dollar that if Cameron Pratt-Thompson sees these guys dilly-dallying and swapping positions with each other, he's going to get his elbows in there and say, come on, boys, let me show you how it's done. Excellent racing so far, but Orridge is working absolute futile battle for him at the moment because Taylor Orridge is chipping away at it bit by bit. He sets a fastest lap. But Bishop, when he's in the lead, is almost unstoppable these days.
Yeah, with this sort of lead, you wouldn't expect them to close Bishop down, quite frankly. But it's Orridge that's in second at the moment. He'll be trying to do just that.
Oh, I don't know, though.
To be fair, he is doing exactly that.
He's getting there, isn't he? Taylor Orridge seems to have found a second win. I think he's been fired up and frustrated by sitting behind Spanswick and then Spanswick trying to pass him every now and then. It's got him a little bit angry, and sometimes you just need that little bit of raw mentality, that little bit of gusto, that little bit of fury to fire up your belly.
It's out the slower corners, I think. He made a couple of metres out the inside infield hairpin.
Oh, nice move from Robinson. He gets Leslie.
So he made a couple of metres out the infield hairpin, and then in the next hairpin he made a metre or two as well. So perhaps he's got, I don't know, he's got a different setup on the kart, but certainly out of the slower corners is where Orridge seems to be closing Bishop out front. So you'd expect Bishop to be, if that's the case, you'd expect Bishop to be faster here down the straight.
Well, this does seem to be the kind of circuit now with its new configuration where you've basically got to make a compromise in terms of your strategy. You've got to try and go for either one of two things. Straight raw speed down the fast sweepers and the straights, or good mechanical grip out of the slower apexes. And it seems clear to me that Taylor Orridge has gone for a decent blend of stability, and that's where he's able to gain the ground.
Yeah, 0.469 last time. It's not 0.469 this time, is it?
That'll be about a quarter of a second as he goes over the line. Very nearly a quarter of a second. He's definitely chipping away at it now.
Yeah, so Taylor Orridge definitely much closer, and this is a great performance. We know that Taylor's got a lot of qualities. We've seen it before in other championships, Jake, and we've seen it again here. We've probably not seen the best.
Oh,
now there you go. That's
Bishop's looking over his shoulder. He never looks over his shoulder.
No, I know. That's very, very interesting indeed. But we've seen Orridge quick in other championships before, Jake. We've probably not seen the best of him in this championship this season. He's had his moments, but we've not seen this sort of pace. Race-winning pace, you'd have to call this right now. And he is right in position.
Right, an unexpected duel for the victory in Mini X30 UKC 2021. Grab a seat, folks, but you're only going to need the edge of it through the final hairpin and onto the main straight. Taylor Orridge hunting down Macaulay Bishop, and the gap comes down again. Just a whisker under a quarter of a second. This is hunted opportunism for Taylor Orridge. He can sense that Macaulay Bishop is getting vulnerable there in the lead of the race. He never looks over his shoulder, Macaulay Bishop. Orridge has got him rattled.
Remember what he did at Wilton Mill when he looked behind.
That's
and
right.
He saw Jack Hobson behind him. He backed him up into his teammate.
Yes,
now,
he did.
Will he use the same tactic this time? Eden Spanswick, though, is not quite close enough to be close. He's not close enough to Orridge for him to be backed up into him at the moment. So if he tries it, it might go
Here we
pear-shaped.
go!
Here we go!
Orridge on the inside of Bishop, launches, job done. Excellent move from Taylor Orridge. And for once, Macaulay Bishop has that beautiful smile of his wiped clean off his face.
Yeah, but he's a quality performer. He's actually, I think, he's one of the best young drivers I've seen since Oliver Rowland, since we used to race against Oliver Rowland.
Yep.
I think he's arguably one of the best I've ever seen since then.
And now, all of a sudden, he's got his teammate to play with him. This is where they're going to team up and do the double time on Taylor Orridge if they can get a chance of it. Bishop doesn't actually need the support from Spanswick initially. He's right there, back on terms, up on the inside. Have some of that. Spanswick's got that. Oh, no! Spanswick collides with Taylor Orridge, and they've both gone off. Taylor Orridge has actually cut the circuit through the barriers.
And that will be an automatic one-lap penalty because he's missed
Taylor.
around 250 metres of the track. He's not completed that lap.
Now, let's see how it happened. Look, Bishop's on the inside. He's got the move. Spanswick's put himself on the inside.
Now, should he see him? Should he see him?
Yeah, I think he's seen him. But he's held his line, and I'm afraid that is two drivers going for the same gap.
He could hit the brakes now and pull his cart back, but he would end up in 14th place. What he's going to do now is try and blag it. That's the angle from a different angle. That's from the drone. It may look different from the drone.
Oh, it's so hard to call. I think that one is probably 6
There you
of
go.
one, half a dozen of the
He's
other.
slowed down. He's slowing down. So he's going to try and blag this. He's going to try and say, I'm hard done by. I was taken out.
Yep.
I was in second at the time. So all I've done is I've regained my position. But you can hit the brakes. You can get out of the cart, pull the cart out,
Taylor.
rejoin the track where you went off. He has not done that. And the clerk of the course, if there's any clerks of the course watching this who would not give a one-lap penalty under those circumstances, I would be absolutely astonished. Not one. It's an automatic slam dunk. And don't shoot me for being the piano player. I'm just telling you what the regulations tend to be under the circumstances. I've never seen anyone not get a one-lap penalty when they've missed 250 metres of circuit and rejoined. My son did have a look at this, and interestingly, he said, yeah, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd drive through the barrier and try and blag it in the office afterwards and say that, listen, I was taken out. All I've done is rejoin my original position. Notwithstanding, of course, that what you should be doing is hitting the brakes, pulling the cart back and rejoining the circuit on the correct side of the barrier. Will be down in 14th as Orridge goes back into the lead. So as far as he's concerned, he's still racing for the win. I think the officials may have a different view, though. And talking of that, there you go, Kart 66, a one-lap penalty, and under the circumstances, I can fully understand why they've given that penalty. Taylor Orridge will disagree. As Macaulay Bishop loses second now.
Yes, he does. So that's Jack Hobson. He's now technically the race leader now, of course, because Taylor Orridge has the one-lap penalty for going across the circuit and cutting through the barriers. So Hobson has watched all this unfold and gone, do you know what? I can win this.
Now, will Hobson know what he's done? Possibly not. So they'll probably just continue racing because you never know at the end of it. I say he's going to try and blag it. He's going to try and go in.
No, I think he must know because obviously Orridge was ahead of him when they had the accident.
Yeah.
So how has Orridge suddenly ended up in front of him?
I suppose
He
he's
must
ended
know.
up round the other side of the track and he would have noticed that.
Hobson's a smart boy. He must know that Orridge has a penalty coming. He must know.
You would think so, but as I say, Taylor Orridge is going to go into the office and he's going to argue, I was taken out, it wasn't my fault. Now, everybody watching can decide whether it was or it wasn't. We're not making accusations one way or the other. That doesn't matter. The fact is, I'm just explaining what the rules are. The rules are if you miss part of the circuit, and there will be rules that say if you go off, you have to rejoin in a safe way. But the point is, he could have hit the brakes, could have pulled the cart back, got back on, but he'd have been 14th.
Yeah.
So the fact that he slowed down and got back into second, which was his original position at the time of the accident, is irrelevant. He should realistically be down in 12th to 14th place, not second.
Now, this is interesting for two reasons. One, we've got Hobson in second place on the road, but technically leading, and he needs to do something about Orridge. Here he goes on the inside. He's got to go for it. Is he going to be there? He needs to get past him because Bishop is right on his tail.
And that tells you that Hobson is not sure. It looks like he's got him now.
He's got him! Oh, what a move from Jack Hobson. He pulls out that same move he pulled out on Eden Spanswick earlier on. That is a killer move from Jack Hobson. Absolutely full of conviction.
Hobson is on fire, Jake. On fire today. He's had a look behind him now. Less than a minute on the clock.
He's parking the bus. Look, he's parking it on the inside apex. He's trying to back Orridge into Bishop. He's got no alternative. He doesn't feel like he's quite got the pace. Look at the way he's parking him up. That's such beautiful placement of the car. And now he's keeping it nice and wide on the way through. He's backing Orridge into Bishop. Bishop's going to try and get alongside. Orridge gets alongside Hobson. This is going to be so tight. Orridge gets through again.
Now that's great driving, irrespective of what's happened before.
Look, Brad Thompson has got past Bishop in all of this. Cameron Pratt Thompson is now trying to find his way past Hobson. Cameron Pratt Thompson, who started last, could win this. He's alongside. Can he get through? Not quite.
Amazing piece of driving from Taylor Orridge, irrespective of the penalty. I would have thought they should have got the last lap board. Doesn't look like it's been shown, but Taylor Orridge, great effort to get what he thinks is the lead back.
Yeah, you've just got to go for it, haven't you? At this point, it doesn't matter whether he gets a penalty or not. He's a racing driver. He's got to go for the win.
He needs to win on track.
Yeah, absolutely he does. That's the only way he's going to win. He has to win on track. Because if he doesn't get a penalty, we know he's got one. He won't know he's got one. He will guess that he might. Bishop on the inside of Pratt Thompson, trying to get the exit on the switch to Hobson. Doesn't get it. Hobson taps his helmet. But Taylor Orridge, look, he's being shown the blue flags. Orridge is being shown the blue flags, so now it's official. So Orridge is being shown the blue flag. Get out of the way of the leaders who are now on the last lap.
And he will ignore that. Indeed, I'm going to say this, as he should.
Oh, Bishop is launching on Hobson, and he's there. That is such a cutthroat overtake. That could have an interesting ramification afterwards, because that was genuinely threading the needle when there was barely a gap to go for it. Pratt Thompson's going through on the inside. Now it's Bishop trying to hang on to the lead. Pratt Thompson's there on the inside. This isn't over. Hobson's all over the back. Off the road goes Bishop. Pratt Thompson snatches the lead. Here goes Hobson. Big dive. Pratt Thompson comes back at him. What a finish to this race this is. Hobson's held it. That is amazing. And now Bishop is going to get his launch on the inside of his teammate Pratt Thompson. And that's Ashton Wiggins. Where did he come from? Victory, though, for Jack Hobson. Brilliant result. Bishop will grab second from Cameron Pratt Thompson. The comeback kid gets the third position. He was almost out-dragged at the line by Ashton Wiggins, who comes from nowhere to finish up in fourth position. Good run from the privateer. George Robinson nearly caught them as well. Morgan Hill, Eden Spanswick, Thomas Cucurella-Yeomans from Aidan Hassan and Finn Leslie. But Jack Hobson, take a bow. You just won the mother of all Mini X30 finals. Epic stuff.
Jack, you've been close, but you haven't taken the top step, but you took it today. And just talk us through that last lap, it was fantastic.
Yeah, so I got overtook on first corner, and then in the first hairpin, they were PMRs come together, and I got past them both and kept it round to the final corner.
Okay, great result, well done. Who do you want to thank though?
MLC Motorsport, P1 Power, and my dad.
Well done.
Thanks.
Jack Hobson is going to remember that victory for a long, long time. Macaulay Bishop still leads the title fight. Hobson is now second, though, ahead of Spanswick. Cucurella-Yeomans and Finn Leslie very close indeed. Taylor Orridge losing a lot of points as a result of that one, but there's still a long way to go. Bishop is almost uncatchable, but Hobson could just do it.
X30 Minis once again showing why they are one of the most exciting classes to watch. After the break, we move up to the X30 Juniors.